We're back, and we've got another On the Line episode. This one's brought to you by Port City Raceway. And speaking of Port City Raceway, we've got our good friend, Mr. Port City, Shane Stewart. Shane, how you doing, bub?
I'm good, man. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time. I know you're ultra busy and got 13 balls in the air and keep juggling them, so we'll try to make it short and sweet. But I appreciate you taking the time and joining us tonight.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, you said Mr. Port City. It's actually Mrs. Jen's Stewart Port City.
You've learned. You're learning so quick. I'm so proud of you.
I'm learning.
You're falling right in line. You're falling right in line.
I texted her today. I'm like, hey, man, I'm thinking about getting some dirt delivered to the parking lot to fill in some. No, you're not. She said, we're not wasting that money. And I said, okay, no problem.
Well, I love you, sweetie. Thank you, though, for the input, right?
Yeah. So
well, it just takes a little bit of time. Hey, I'm still learning, and I'm a lot longer in the tooth than you are, bub. So hopefully she's going to be patient with you.
Yeah, all good.
Speaking of Port City, man, I've been raving about it to everybody, and I'm not just blowing smoke, but honestly, man, every time we go out there, it just seems like improvement after improvement. First of all, I want to say thank you for what you do for us with Dirt Crowd. I appreciate you allowing us access and you know what you guys do out there. Us just being a small piece of it, we really appreciate that. But man, the facility is nothing, absolutely nothing but first class. It seems like every time I go out there, you've got something else going on. So I know you're not spending a lot of time at home on a iRacing simulator or anything, are you?
No, that's Lane. Lane's the generation of Shane Stewart Racing, right?
Pass the torch.
I had a go-kart and two cars besides the go-kart sitting in the shop, ready to race. But I did not have any of that. So
yeah, it's a different world.
Lane does not realize how fortunate he is. He has no idea. But yeah, no, we're super proud of Port City. When you roll through the gate, here's the deal. Mother Nature has taken its course out there the last few weeks, but normally we're hands-on. The place is first class, and between the water, our place, the people that haven't been there, our place is surrounded by a creek, which is good and bad. The good side of the creek is that everything displaces to the creek when it rains.
Right.
And the bad thing about it is when it rains, like it's rained in the last couple of weeks, it just makes everything a disaster. And so we're constantly working out there, put it that way. And we want people to, when they first roll off of 161st and go down the road to the, they pass Haas's house on the right-hand side and venture off into the racetrack side of it. We want everyone to experience a great opportunity there, and we work hard at that.
Well, and it shows. It's not only the facility. I mean, I know how OCD you are about cleanliness and everything else, but I mean, it shows from the bathrooms to the concession to the pit area. I mean, I think you guys have got a well-oiled machine, and it doesn't go unnoticed. I mean, especially like you said with Mother Nature. Number one, to try to get these races in, and number two, to have a surface that we can race on and have multiple grooves. It takes a lot of work, and every time I'm out there, I try to stop everybody and thank them, because I know there's not a whole lot of that goes along. There's not too many pats on the back when you're in that situation, but it doesn't go unnoticed, and we appreciate it. But talk to us a little bit about the micro world as it sits now versus, you went off and have been a sprint car driver for a profession for a long time and been fantastic at that. But the transition for you to come back and be a track owner and take over a facility that you were familiar with, and just micro racing in general, how much it's changed from back when you were running them. I mean, it just seems to me that we have a condensed mini version of the sprint car world per se.
Yeah, we do. It's like anything, right? Like the cost is probably equal to what it costs to go do a sprint car deal or a midget deal. If you're going to do it the right way. I hear people all the time say, "Oh, we're getting out of micros and we're going to go race sprint cars and it's going to be cheaper," and it's really not. It's all equivalent across the board. But I think the micro world, as you look at the sprint car world, I think it's in good hands. I mean, we have people that I-44 is going strong now, and you see all these high-paying micro races around the country. It doesn't really help the local scene, from week to week,
Right.
like what we do at Port City. But I feel like all in all, the world of micros are pretty strong. There's several 10,000 win races and across the country, and um, we don't have one. Actually, we are going to have one of those at the end of the year with Power Eye. But I think all in all, I think racing's strong. I mean, everyone keeps saying, "Oh, what about fuel prices and this and that?" But people keep showing up and racing, and I feel like car counts at Knoxville are good. I feel like car counts at the World of Outlaws and High Limit, and I don't think that the big paying micro races have dwindled at all on the car count side. So um, people just keep spending money somehow.
Oh, I know.
So
You're 100% right. It doesn't matter if you're a fan or a track owner or a team owner or whatever. They're still purchasing tickets. They're still buying parts. Everybody's still open, and I think we're so blessed right now in many ways as a fan to have the streaming services to be able to see those. But my concern in all of that, and I think it's all great. It's a great product. My concern is I wonder where that's leading us for these local weekly track owners and promoters. That's my worry, right? And it's not because I'm talking to you, but just in general. When I talk to my sprint car text groups, it's one of our major concerns. And us guys that are 100% vested, that are going to show up and know that we need to show up local to support those local tracks, and we can still watch streaming. We're still going to do it all. I just think I don't want us to lose that mindset, right? I'm almost to the point where I think at the sprint car level, I wish we would see both High Limit and the World of Outlaws go to maybe less shows. And I
mhm.
think that would help the weekly promoters and track owners a little bit more instead of trying to force 90 races and 70 races down everybody's throat. I think it starts at some point, it does start thinning out.
Yeah, it does. I don't know the easy fix to any of that. There's obviously a ton of money in the streaming side of it. Um, does it help the promoters? I don't know. Um, it's a double-edged sword.
Right.
Here's the thing: like the promoters that have a high limit and an outlaw race, and even a big pain micro race, like they bank on that show to make money, to make a profit, and typically, if the weather's right, which that's the double-edged sword of the streaming side of it. If the weather's right, people
Right.
are going to come because the true fan that's in that region they're no doubt going to watch that race live than they would prefer to watch on TV. Now, if that race is in California and you're in Oklahoma, yeah, you're going to watch the streaming side of it, just like I do.
Right. Right.
Um, but if the weather's bad, or if there's question in the weather side of it, that's when it hurts the promoter because they just won't come. And then as a promoter, there's just a lot to it. There's the concession side of it, and when you have an influx of people to accommodate a show like that, it's thousands of people. It's not hundreds, it's thousands.
Right.
So you buy way more hot dogs and way more hamburgers and way more beer. And then if that show doesn't take place and or those people don't come, then those guys, they lose money. And if they do that 2 or 3 times in a row, then they're not going to ever have that race again. So
Yeah.
it's tough. It's a nail biter business, and most of the people that own racetracks, they don't just rely on revenue from the racetrack. They have other businesses
Sure.
uh, that they do outside of that particular track. So they can maybe take a loss here and there
Right.
and be okay. There's some track owners that aren't that, like they rely on what their track makes to make them survive and feed their family, and those are the ones that are struggling.
Sure.
Um, and Yeah, I don't really know the easy answer or the fix to it all. I mean, the streaming side of it is it can be profitable for the racetrack if you negotiate things the right way, and um, but they can also be negative for the
Sure.
track too. So it's just all about how you go about your business, but I honestly think that you can't have a racetrack right now with some sort of streaming, whether it's through a Flow or a Dirt Vision or a Power Eye sanction, or if you do your own YouTube channel or whatever it might be. I think you have to have that nowadays. I think it's
Right.
just that you have to have. So times have definitely changed a lot in the last 10 years.
Well, and on the flip side of that, the good point is we're so fortunate because we got so many good young drivers. We've got talent in the cars, working on cars. I think as far as the product itself, whether you're watching it streaming or you're in the pit area, I think we're really blessed right now to have the amount of talent we have. Whether you're at a micro race at Port, or you're at a midget race at Sweet Springs tonight for the USAC race, or you're at a weekly show at Knoxville or Huset's or wherever it is. There's so much good talent, young talent. I think we're really blessed as true dirt car fans to have that. Not that we haven't had it before, but I just think we have it in groves now. I mean, I just see firsthand at Port City how much talent we have, and I'm not even talking about in A class and non-wing. I'm talking about in junior, sprint, and restrictor. It's amazing.
It is amazing. And honestly, since Jen and I have bought Port City, like that has been the best thing for me personally, is to watch the kids progress. I have a pretty good eye, and I know the kids that when they start in junior sprint, I'm pretty good at recognizing talent and knowing if they're going to progress and be successful in the restrictor side and then the A class side. And
Sure.
um, we have a here's the deal. We have a B main almost every weekend in junior sprint and restrictor. We were kind of nervous a couple years ago because we had an influx of junior sprint kids going up into the restrictor side,
Right.
and yeah, our junior sprint class is going to be dead, and it has not been dead at all. And I think the parents, a lot of it's quarter midget parents,
Right.
progressing from the quarter midget side to the micro side of things. But I think parents are recognizing that Port City is a great learning tool for the kid. It's tight, it's hand-eye coordination. If you
100%.
can win a race at Port City, I've heard it numerous times. You can go race and win anywhere,
And it's the
and
truth.
I think that word is getting out more and more and more. And our younger classes, they're stacked. They're stacked fields. And here's the deal: we have an influx of kids that race really fast, and then we have kids that can barely line up. And But those kids that can barely line up, if their parents can hang in there and and try to teach your
Yep.
kids a little bit here and there, it's amazing from year 6 to year 8, or from year 7 to year 9, how much those kids progress and get up to speed and go from not being able to line up to actually being in contention to win a race.
Well, it's incredible because, we deal with a lot of them with the Dirt Crowd platform, right? I mean, we have a ton of junior sprint drivers at Port City that are on our platform, and we appreciate every one of them. But in dealing with those parents, it's in racing, and I can't remember who I heard say this. This is just a few months ago, and it was an old quote from an F1 driver. He was an award show, and he went up and he said, "I want to dedicate this award to all the losers out there." And it kind of threw everybody off. And it's like, in racing, the wins are hard to come by. You're going to lose a lot more than you're going to win. And,
Right.
When I talk to these junior sprint parents, and it's, they come from quarter midgets and they've run 3 classes and they've got so many wins and all this. And I try to explain to them, number one, it's going to take time. But number two, you're at a facility that the graduating class, look at the driver. We just had Ryan Timms on last week, who's a Knoxville Nationals champion, that it
Right.
wasn't 5 years ago. He's running 3 classes at Port. I mean, it's unreal. You look at the names and the lineage that have come from our area. It's not being a homer. It's the honest truth. And you said it earlier. If you can run at Port City, and I try to explain to them, I mean, if you run 6th to 11th at the junior sprint in Port City, those are wins a lot of other places. And it doesn't do you any good as a parent learning to work on the car and your kid learning his craft in the car to go someplace and just check out on the field. You're going to get better week in and week out running against good competition, no matter what level that is. And I think they are starting to see it. I think we are kind of lucky in the fact that a lot of our junior sprint and restrictor parents have come from, they've been at Port City before, whether they've had uncles or brothers or whatever that have raced. I think we have generational knowledge and talent that really helps these kids progress along the way as well. I think that's one of the reasons that we are lucky and we see that talent. I talk to my friends that are Pat, real well, that lives in Lamar's, and I used to try to explain to him when Ryan Timms was first going up to Houston. I'm like, Pat, he's going to be ultra successful, because to me, running the A class or the non-wing at Port City, it relates so well to running that 410 at Houston's. You're in traffic, and to your point, like you said earlier, you've got to get comfortable making split decisions. You've got to get comfortable with multiple cars around you, whether it's passing for position or coming up on lap cars. You've got to learn to maintain your speed and learn to drive through that. And you see it correlate to them when they go to those tight bull rings. It becomes secondhand to them.
Right. No, I 100%. I think it just teaches kids, to avoid wrecks. Wrecks happen pretty quick at Port City, and it's not very wide. And, it teaches kids, I tell them all the time, like, you cannot drive off your front bumper, right? Like, you gotta trade and drive 2 or 3 cars ahead of what you're trying to, even though you're trying to pass this car in front of you, you still have to look ahead. And I said the good drivers learn that quickly. And unfortunately, I and all the good drivers, they go through crashing spells. They all do, because it's always slow a guy down than it is to make him go faster. But it's very hard to find a car owner these days that's going to go through that spell. And the quicker the kids can learn to maintain and take care of their equipment and still race up front, the better off they're going to be if they want to progress up that ladder. And it's not for everybody. It's not. And it's not cheap. It's not a cheap hobby. It's not a cheap sport. But the kids that progress and continue to excel up the ladder, it makes me really proud, especially if they really cut their teeth at Port City. And
100%. It's got, I mean, it's almost a parent. I mean, you're taking on a role of, you're mentoring these kids, whether it's how to line up or, I can't tell you how many times I see you talking to a parent, and a pat on the back every now and then makes a massive difference. And it takes time to progress. I mean, that's just the nature of the beast, right? I mean, it just happens, and that's the way it's going to be. And I think that's one of the things that you and I first talked about Dirt Crowd a long time ago, and it's one of the things I want to get your take on. But we focus on a lot of, unfortunately, it's so important what we do outside of the car. Nowadays, it's almost even more important than what you do in the car per se in some instances.
Right.
And I think in a ways that's good, and I think in a way that's bad. Right? I mean, it can transition to just everyday life, right? Learning to deal with people and trying to interact with people, and you've got to bring fans in, and you got to bring partners and sponsors in. I think that's become so much more important now, and I don't think you can start at too early of an age. I really don't.
No, and kudos to you and Dirt Crowd. I 100% agree with you. I mean, when I first started racing, had nothing to do with social media because we didn't really have social media.
Right.
It's way more involved nowadays, especially with sponsors. I mean, when you go sit down with a sponsor, their first things that they're going to ask you is, how's your social media?
Right.
How many sponsors do you have on Instagram? How many sponsors do you have
Right.
on Facebook? And I feel like the Dirt Crowd side of it is going to continue to grow, and it's very, very important on that side of it because most parents don't have the money to make the kids get up to wherever they want to go, NASCAR or World of Outlaws or High Limit or All Stars or whatever your plateau might be. But most parents can't make that happen. The kids have to do that on their own, and the social media side of it has definitely uh, been a game changer, especially when it comes to sponsors.
Oh yeah, and if you get good at it, it makes all the difference in the world. I try to explain to my friends that aren't in our race family that if you're in football or baseball or anything else that for you Nixon and Lane are involved in, if you're good at some level, you're going to get a scholarship. You may go
Yeah.
to a professional level. It has nothing to do with your net worth or how much money you have behind you. In racing, how many good young drivers have we seen come through Port that didn't have the funding behind them and didn't have the networking ability that unfortunately they don't get to progress on because they didn't have that ability. Now we all have that ability. It's just like working harder than everybody else in the car. Now you got to work harder than everybody else outside of the car. You got to
Yep.
think outside the box.
Yep, I agree. Yep, I agree. It all makes a difference. It all makes a difference. It's not just making laps and winning races. It's all about what can you do for my company, right? If I'm going to sponsor your car, how can you help me promote my company? And I think Brian Brown has done a great job at that, and I think kids can learn a lot from him. Rico's done a great job at that. Um,
Those are the two
and
I always mention.
yeah, a lot of kids are starting to follow that trend, and uh, it's only going to get better and better for them as long as they keep themselves clean and do the right things by their sponsors and do the right things outside a race car, even if you have
Yep.
good or bad. You can't
Yep.
get outside steering wheel and act like a buffoon, and all those days are over because everybody's watching. Everybody's watching.
Oh, literally, literally. I mean, everybody's got a phone, everybody's got a camera, and to
Yeah.
your point, I don't want to be that old creepy guy that's walking through the pit area that says, "Hey, you need to worry about your credit score and worry about the shirt that you wear and what you say and you act," but is a true reflection, and you're a reflection of those partners that are on your car. I think the one
Right.
lucky thing we have is there's guys that are my age and even down to your age now that have been in racing a long time that have worked hard in the private sector. So I do think we have a little bit more ability to reach out to some additional potential partners and sponsors that are out there that kind of understand the game and the long haul, right? I mean, you and I have talked about it as a driver, and most team owners want instant success, and that's not going to happen. I think I've heard
Right.
you mention 3 or 4 times it's a 3 to 5 year process,
Yeah.
and that's a
Yeah.
lot of dollar signs in between those 3 and 5 years.
It is. It is. I just saw today where Hank Davis got let go of his
Yeah.
ride, and I don't know the details of that situation, but I mean, that's that's reality, right? Like that's just how tough it is. I
Yep.
mean, Hank's. I felt like outside looking in, I think he's done a great job with that
I agree.
team, and who knows all the details behind it, but I feel like that's just where we're at, and that car owner might be like, you know what, I might be able to get a guy that can bring, some family money or some
Yep.
sponsorship money, and we're just going to be in a better, financial situation, and
Yep.
that's reality, unfortunately. But it's a tough deal. I try to tell parents all the time. Listen, your kid to be Kyle Larson or to be Christopher Bell or to be even Ryan Timms, it's less than 1%. It's less than 1%. So
Right.
you have to come and enjoy your time. Yes, I'm not saying that your kid can't be that next,
Right.
Kyle Larson, whatever, but the odds of it happening is very slim, and you have to enjoy your time. There's a huge influx of kids that hang out with each other every week at Port City, and
Right.
to say, you know what, I come to Port City, I don't have to worry about my kid because I know they're in good hands, and they're with a good group of kids and parents, and
Right.
that that's that's how it is, right? Like that's baseball,
Right.
but
A
in
hundred percent.
um, so it's just it's a tough business. It is a tough business, but when you progress up the ladder, whether you go from junior sprint to restrictor, or from a restrictor to A class, or A class to a sprint car, each transition is going to be tougher and tougher because you're starting to deal with adults and people that's done it for a long time,
Right.
and you can tell the kids that adapt pretty quickly and accept the speed and do a good job, and but it's a tough deal. It's a tough deal.
Yeah, and to your point, I mean, we have so much passion for it and love it at so many levels that you want to see everybody succeed. And back to what we were talking about before, we've been ultra lucky in and around our neck of the woods because we've had so many great drivers go on and do those things. And you want to see the other ones continue at advance. But to your point, I think competition's gotten stronger at every level. The dollars are getting stretched thinner and thinner, so it is a haul. I mean, it is a tough go, and but it is a drug like no other. I mean, racing is, man, it'll suck you in and it'll keep you for a long time. I'm 57 now, and it's had a hold on me for a long time, and it's one I'm not going to be able to ever get rid of. So it's just part of it, right?
Right. No, and it's not a bad drug. It's not. Yeah, I just want people to be able to enjoy it with their family. And if they're just there hanging out with some buddies and racing at Port City on a weekly basis, and they have another business, like I want them to enjoy it too.
Sure.
I mean, this is a hobby for them, and we're not a sprint car track, so we don't see the people that do it. I mean, there is a couple people that come and race at our track a lot that do it for a living, but it's very slim. And
Right.
and I think what you're doing with Dirt Crowd and trying to help these kids get social media presence, to get a little bit of sponsorship here and there, whether it's $5 or $100 a month, and I think that's important because all that adds up and makes a big difference for these parents that are scraping their pennies to get to the racetrack on a weekly basis, and get up and down the road and try to make the next race, and whether it's sprint cars or micros or go
Right.
karts or whatever it might be. There, here's the thing: as a parent, we want nothing more to see our kids succeed, right? Whether it's gymnastics or racing or
Right.
baseball or football or whatever it might be. And by God, if we need to go buy a $300 bat, we're going to scrape all our pennies together to make
Yes, sir.
that happen for them because we
Yes,
feel like
sir.
it's going to make a difference for them. And with the dirt crowd side of it, that makes a difference. These parents can get their kid involved with social media, help them on that side of it, where Dirt Crowd can help generate a little bit of money for them to make the next race, and then who knows, they might win that race, and then that money gets put in the bank account, and then it just goes on and on and on. I tell people all the time, Paul Silva and I left Sacramento with $500 in the bank, and we made it to Devil's Bowl for our first full ASCS tour. And Paul's like, here's the deal. We have to win one of these nights. If we don't, then
No
we're
pressure,
gonna be
right?
we're gonna be eating bananas. And
Right.
and we end up winning, right? And it was just passion, hard work, dedication. And then obviously we continued and had a successful, 4 or 5 years together. And then both of us, we both split ways, but we both were successful
Right.
because of that hard work. It was just Paul and I, pretty
Yep.
much. And I try to tell all these kids, listen, you have to learn your craft. You have to learn to work on your car. You have to learn to go to car washes. You can't be
Yes.
lazy. You got to get out of bed and you got to work. You have to work, because the only way, if you get to somebody that's got the same equal amount of talent, the only way you're going to beat them is to outwork them.
Yep.
That's just, and
100%.
whether it's on the promoting side, valuing your sponsorship, uh, making your car, to where it doesn't, break down in a race,
Right.
all that, all of it adds up. And the only way
Yeah.
you're going to beat your competitor is to outwork them. And, I was fortunate to be able to, I was raised by my dad and Andy Hillenberg, and both of those guys, they're hard workers. And, no, my dad's still working. He's almost 80, and he's still going strong. So, it was just instilled in me, and I'm going to do the same thing with Lane.
Right.
And I told him the other day, he had a little crash in his junior sprint, and I'm like, listen, you can go play with your buddies, but you're going to help Papa fix your car first. You get your
Good.
car
Good.
sorted where they can get it in the trailer, and
Right.
then you can go and play football and
Right.
baseball with your
Right.
friends. You got to learn to work on your car. So.
Well, first of all, I appreciate you giving us a shout out with Dirt Crowd. For us, it's trying to teach them. It's not only the little bit of money that's coming in, or a lot of money from some, but it's also learning to understand that you have to learn to deal with fans, and you have to learn how to talk to partners and present your brand. And those are all valuable ingredients to having success, along with passion and hard work. It's to every person that we talk to, whether he's a successful Shane Stewart at that level, or it's Clinton Boyles we just talked to. Like you said, you're hitting on the same things. It's passion, it's hard work, it's dedication, and it's not for the faint of heart. I mean, it is a grind. There is no doubt. And you hear it to a person that has been through that grind, that, hey, it takes, now there's light at the end of the tunnel, but it's because a lot of them are going to give up along the way, because it is so hard to get there. And I think that's one of the things, to the point, like, yeah, and we see your dad in the pit area now. I mean, he's working hard and helping Darren with the boys. And, it's just, I think those are one of the things that we can't instill enough in our kids to see. That's one of the things I like about racing, is you learn that we are a family, and as competitive as we all are, let somebody need something or be in a situation where they need help, and our racing community is usually the first one to be there and do more than enough to try to help out and assist. And that's one thing I'm super proud of.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's a small world we live in, and it looks like a big world, but it's really
Right.
small.
Yeah.
And you see that when people are down and out, and have tragedies, or whatever it might be, a little trailer fire, or something like that. I see it all the time on Facebook, and people just step up. Like, I'll help you. Coles County had that big tornado that kind of went through their property and ripped up a bunch of trees. And Brian and them, they're working hard, and there's no doubt that track's going to be bigger and better, and in a better spot than it was before. But those people can't make it without people stepping to help, and it's all about a passion for the sport.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that have that passion.
100%. Let's touch briefly on, you mentioned him earlier, let's touch briefly on Lane, the driver. In talking to your dad, do you think you see some similarities of Lane in yourself at that age? Or, I mean, how is it now, you being the driver and the driver coach, and the dad in the situation? I I know it's come on real quick for you here, and I know he's been super successful early on. But how is that? How is that as a parent now? Is it a little different than you thought it was going to be?
Um, yes and no. I obviously didn't know what to expect. Nerves are a different type of nerve. The nerves are, crap, man, did I make sure all of his wheels are tight? And
Right.
last thing you want is your kid to go out and lose a tire, right? You're like, oh,
Right.
um, yeah, it's been different. Obviously, Jen and I are in a tough situation owning the racetrack at Port and
Yes.
having land there. We wouldn't our situation wouldn't work without my brother and my dad. It
Right.
just wouldn't. I
Right.
just don't. We don't have time to deal with the getting him in and out of the car and making sure little adjustments here and there. And we've been fortunate where he hasn't really torn much up, but we haven't
Right.
had to fix anything from the heat race to the feature. And I know that's coming, but
Sure.
we're
Sure.
unique situation where our family has have been huge help with that. But um, Lane doesn't listen to me. He listens to my brother and my dad, but he got it all figured out. And he's 6. I didn't even start racing until I was almost 9. I
Right.
think I was
Right.
pretty much 9. And the mentality of a 6-year-old to a 9-year-old adapting to certain situations around the track is huge. So I think by the time Lane gets 9 to be, when he's 9, I think he's going to be in contention to win a lot of races.
Right.
It's but it's been fun. Of course, I'm like, what are we doing? Like we're missing the bottom, and we're doing this, and then I gotta like gut check myself. I'm like, he's just 6. He's
Right.
just 6.
Right.
We were strong, and then we're in a little lull right now, and we've gotten into a few crashes, and but it's he's learning. Like we've touched base like here on this conversation. He's learning at a great racetrack, and I think that's going to transition into a lot of wins down the road. But we're not in this situation without my family and sponsors. I
Right.
think Lane's got more sponsors than I ever had, so
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
been good to see a lot of my buddies step up that helped me along the way. That's also obviously helping Lane. And if anyone's paid attention to his race car, it's got stickers all over it. And those are people that's actually donated a little bit of money. So it all makes a difference.
Well, it does, and you and I've talked about it a little bit briefly because when I first had him on, you're like, oh, he's not going to talk. He's not going to talk. It's funny now. He'll wear his fire suit. He knows where to put his mic on when I interview him. I mean, he's all about it now. So, and we get great feedback anytime Lane's on. Everybody loves it. So, I think he's got that part licked. So I think we got a really good package going. It's just a matter of holding it at 10 and 2 and let it all marinate and come out in the end, right?
Yeah, 100%, 100%. It's funny you say that. So you did your interview with him, and I guess I don't know if I said something to him or maybe Jen said something to him about you got to make sure you thank your sponsors and you can't just get up there and not say anything.
Right.
Well, so he gets in the car. It may have been the next night that you guys were set up there at the track, and he still had a suit on. I'm like, go take your suit off, like it's hot. And he's like, no, man. He's like, I got to go do something. And I'm like, what? So anyway, I'm like, whatever. So I went back down to the track and did my thing. Well, I didn't realize he was going back to your tent to do another interview.
Yeah, he had his entire posse. He had like 8 of his buddies there ready to watch him, and I told him, I said, Lane, let's take a little break. Let's go out and watch this A feature together, and then we'll come back and do it because it's just too loud. And he said, I'm fine. I'll sit right here. So he sat right there in the interview booth through an A feature and a half till we went back, and it was like click, ready. And as soon as he's done, he knows to take off the mic. I mean, he's gonna make it hard on you. He's gonna be a handful. Yeah. And I tell Jen about it all the time. She's like, we got to put a hat on him. We got to get a hat on him. So,
yeah.
But yeah, he's definitely going to be. The good thing is he's not one that you're going to have to try to prod him a little bit to get him to go forward, right? We talked about it before. It's much easier to have one to say, okay, now let's rein it in a little bit versus you know, you need to step on the gas. So, yeah, it's great to see, and I just, you know, from day one, we've known you and your family and brother and dad for seems like 100 years, and you guys do nothing but first class. You're a class act as a family. We're really proud of you and Jen and what you guys have done at Port City, and we're glad to be a little bitty part of that. So we appreciate you and allowing us to come out to Port City and kind of promote Dirt Crowd and help some of these younger kids. But I know you're ultra busy, and I'm sure Jen's got something for you to do. So we're going to let you get off here. But again, I appreciate you taking the time. It means a lot, and thanks for everything you do, not only for us, but for everybody in racing, Shane. You're a class act and a great representative of our state and our sport that we love, and I really mean that, and appreciate everything you guys do.
Awesome. I appreciate you, buddy, and continue success. And obviously, we're Port City's going to keep pushing Dirt Crowd and everything that we can do to make that part of it successful. I think it's important, and I think it's going to continue to grow. And obviously, we're just a small part in your business too. So I think the two of us have a passion for the sport and want to see it succeed and want to see the young kids succeed. And
100%.
Listen, there's many times that you could have just thrown in your towel with Dirt Crowd and said enough, and you haven't, and that means a lot to me too. So appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate it, Bob. Tell Jen and Nixon and Lane we said hi, and we'll see you out at Port on Friday.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Right. Thanks, sir. All right, that's Shane Stewart, obviously the current promoter and owner at Port City, and a great representative of just dirt car racing in general, and just honored to say he's been a friend of mine for many years and a great family, and just appreciate everything they do for racing, and thanks again, Shane. Again, wanted to plug Port City Raceway. They're the sponsor of this On the Line program, and anybody you out there that's coming to the track, make sure you bring a friend, get them out there, and introduce them to Port City and what we got going on there. It's a great product and a great family environment, and would love to have you all out there, and make sure you come and say hi to us at the Dirt Crowd 10 and everybody, and love to see you out there. So thanks again, and we'll see everybody next time.